Nice view of the Aegean Sea from our restaurant. That's funny. They're honest there. Genuine fake watches.
Legs,
We are in the ancient city of Ephesus, and as you can see, this is the great theater. It goes back to 3rd to the 1st century BC. So the seating capacity of this is 25,000 people, which is 10% of the population of the city of Ephesus. So 250,000 was the population, and 25,000 is the seating capacity of this theater.
Now it's no more people. No.
This road here leads to the harbor of Ephesus. So this is the famous library of Ephesus. It's called the Celsus Library. The Celsus Library. Well, can you say this is a cat's eye view of the library of Ephesus? So we're climbing up the steps of the Ephesus Library. Next to the library is the Agora, or the marketplace. This is where the marketplace used to be. So you can guess what these are. These are the toilets. Some keyholes. And then they had fresh water running through these channels here to clean themselves. And I just wanted to see how deep it goes. So yeah, I would say probably about like 10 to 12 feet, I think. This is the temple of Emperor Hadrian. Of course, this is a reconstruction, and the original pieces are in some museum elsewhere. These here are individual shops or stalls that they had where they sold some of their wares. Looks like these are terrace houses in the back here. This here is not a statue on a Roman pedestal, but it is a real cat, as you can see. Interesting decoration and inscription. This is a view from the top, looking down towards the library. So St. Paul would have definitely walked on these streets here in Ephesus. We know from the biblical description that he came to Ephesus, and he did speak here in the Agora, the marketplace. And they had the temple of Artemis or Diana. And if I remember correctly, there was a silversmith, Demetrius, I believe, who instigated a rebellion against him. And I believe he was arrested and then taken to Rome from here. Here's a temple dedicated to the Emperor Domitian, who was considered God. And he was one of the emperors who persecuted the Christians the most. So when the Christians gained power, they tore down most of the structure here. So there's very little that remains of this temple dedicated to Emperor Domitian. And we know that there was an early church here in Ephesus. And the letter that Paul wrote to the church in Ephesus, the letter to the Ephesians, as you know from the Bible. This is the Bouleuterion, where they house the meeting of the council, as well as musical performances and contests. This is goddess Nike over here. So when the early Christians destroyed the temple of Artemis and things like that, some of the followers of Artemis buried 2 or 3 statues in the ground, and they have recovered those statues and they're in a museum. But I'll go to the gift shop here. I'm sure they have replicas of that statue here. This is the goddess Artemis or Diana.
Is this old or you still use old?
This house is considered to be the last house of the Virgin Mary.
Take the steps down and just continue walking on this road.
Listen to me. You don't want to like this?
These are verses from the Quran that talk about the Virgin Mary. So this is considered to be holy water here. That gentleman there up, he filled a little bottle with holy water, and I guess he's taking it home. For some reason, this place reminded me of Kerala.
Why some reason? Look, it looks like rubber trees.
This is an ancient water cistern, probably used for baptisms. So we stopped at this nice little restaurant for lunch, which is all apparently homemade food. Traditional Turkish homemade food. It's all homemade, cooked by Hatija. Wow. This is a little bit of everything. The plate is full. How about your plate?
Yeah. Just no rice and potato. You didn't take rice either, right?
No. This church supposedly was where Saint John was buried. It's interesting to note that church is called Kilisi, maybe in Turkish, and which sounds similar to Kalisya in Hindi. So this church of St. John was built by Emperor Justinian in the 6th century AD, and this is how it would have looked like. And today this is an aerial view of what's here. This here is the courtyard of the church, and the door here is the entrance to the church. Once you enter, you have the narthex here, and then you have a second narthex, and this is the main sanctuary here with the naves on the sides, on both sides. And straight ahead where those people are standing is the tomb of the Apostle John, or Saint John. This is the tomb of Saint John. Looking from the ruins of this church, across you see a castle. This castle was built by the Ottomans, but it's built on what was originally Ephesus. And then Ephesus moved later to other locations in this area. Blessy is wandering late into church here. You're late for church today. You still have some of the mosaics from those times on the floor here. Another interesting part of this church or basilica is the baptisterium. This is where the adults who were converting to Christianity were baptized, and they have a little pool here. And I'm going to step into the pool as if I'm getting baptized. So they would walk in to this pool, and then they would be immersed here, and they would walk out of this pool on the other side. So that column that we see in the distance, single column, is what is believed to be the remains of the temple of Artemis or Diana here in Ephesus. And right here, I believe it's a 13th century mosque named after a guy named Isa. Isa is Turkish for Jesus, but the name of this person was Isa. And they also believe that this is the site of the temple of Apollo. So we're stopping at a leather shop, a leather factory, and they did say that there will be a fashion show, so I'm looking forward to it. When I walked into this leather factory showroom, Kirchilar, little did I know what was going to happen in the next half an hour or so. You will see by the end of this video. So this is the view from our hotel balcony in Kushadasi. This is a small town on the coast of the Aegean Sea.